I also want to thank Country Bible Church in Texas, Santa Cruz Bible Church in California, Walk Through the Bible in Georgia, and Venture Christian Church in Los Gatos, California, for the privilege of helping me work out in real time the application of truth as it applies to these controversial and often divisive issues in both very conservative, rural Texas, and very liberal, Santa Cruz environments. God, in His mercy and wisdom, allowed me to minister to and learn to love rednecks who used racial slurs, leaned far right, and didn't use words like gay when referring to those who practice homosexuality. Later, I would live and minister in one of the most politically correct cities in America. They viewed the University of California at Berkeley as too far right. I got to know and deeply care about liberal politicians, radical feminists, gays and lesbians, New Agers, and passionate environmentalists. As a pastor seeking to teach the same truth that was radical and unpopular with both groups for very different reasons, the pressure to conform in each situation was immense. But the big lesson was how similar both groups and I were with one another. Out of our insecurities, prejudice, and backgrounds, we all held the others with suspicion, assumed the worst, accepted labels, and defended and judged rather than seeking to meet, know, and understand one another as unique individuals. I've learned a lot in the last 30 years pastoring these very different groups, and then teaching the very same truth in almost 100 countries with Walk Through the Bible. The real issues are not abortion, sexuality, homosexuality, politics, or the environment. These are merely the lightning rods of conflict and controversy. The real issue before the church today is what is true? And then, how is that truth communicated? I'm deeply thankful for the privilege of learning from ultra-conservatives and ultra-liberals. I know from personal experience what truth shared in love can do. My plea for a strong, clear stand on biblical truth as absolute and authoritative could not have been more countercultural in Santa Cruz, California. But when we translated that same truth to meeting real needs, driving HIV patients to the doctor or grocery store, addressing poverty and runaway teens, and meeting with gay public officials to address the needs of our city, everything changed. When God's direction was to build relationships with blacks and Hispanics, and even move the church into an African American neighborhood in rural Texas, I was extremely unpopular with some, to say the least. Yet years later, I watched one of the most adamant objectors, whose vocabulary had been filled with racial slurs, mentor boys from the neighborhood and teach them a craft to earn a living. His heart changed. He loved them, and they loved him. When we baptized at the African American church across the street, because we didn't have a baptistry, we helped one another. Prejudice and suspicion were replaced with genuine, caring relationships. So I thank God for letting me watch the power of His truth when shown in love. This isn't a book to bash anyone or build a case for some particular group. The church is losing its commitment and courage to believe and stand for what Jesus and our forefathers in the faith have given their lives for. Yes, some have used truth as a club, but today we have become so fearful of appearing unpopular, anti-intellectual, or intolerant that we have become bland, lukewarm, and anemic. We are not bold because we don't know what we believe or why. We are not loving because we have missed Jesus' heart and His deep compassion for every person, regardless of their gender, race, beliefs, or sexual orientation. So finally, a big thank you to Jerry and the Living on the Edge team who made this book possible. Thank you, Chad and the Baker Books team, for your support and commitment to me and this project. Thank you, Venture Christian Church, for the privilege to live this out, by God's grace, in the most diverse city in America. Thank you, Curtis and the Yates and Yates team, for your insight and for building the bridges that led to this book. And thank you, Teresa, for being an amazing, patient, loving, and prayerful wife, without whom I could never have done this. Introduction. This is a book for Christians. It is about issues we don't normally discuss. We often argue about these issues or scream about these issues or say